Oh, man. Unusual afternoon delight here on Outside Shots. EJ with a rare daylight appearance. Usually people see you on the games at night, or they're here early at the crack of dawn at 8:30 in the morning. But no, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Look at this special day. EJ, thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Not because I'm doing you a favor.
I know, because I should be at home right now.
I just got done playing the circus golf course. I should have had my butt here early.
What golf course?
Whisper Rock.
Oh, okay. All right.
Whisper Rock. Yeah. And
right.
Before we get started, though.
Okay. All right, listen, folks. EJ came in on a heater. So here we go.
Before we get started. Now, somebody's calling you.
Why are you calling me, man?
Because somebody's calling you. I want everybody to see this. Now, you all tell me if this is creepy or not. Seriously, just tell me. It's just this dude. Everybody has a profile picture.
Look at his.
I get it. Everybody has a profile picture. I get it. Like when people call, they have a little bitty thumbnail picture of themselves.
Do you have an image of him?
Look at this fool. I mean, who wants to look at a grown ass man when I'm on the phone? Like every time I turn the phone around, I feel like he's looking at me.
What's so funny is it's going to my voicemail right now. What he's saying?
Man, this is ridiculous, man. That was really creepy.
Why, man? I'm a good looking dude,
Give me
man.
a thumbnail, man. I don't want this.
You could change it.
I don't know how to change it.
Yeah.
But
I'm
just going to delete your picture. How about that?
You can't. You can't.
All right, okay. I'm cool now.
Are you sure, man? You need a hug or something?
No, I want some money on the golf course.
I mean, you already intimidated Derek and you forced him away. You come in here, then you try to steal somebody else's bike over here. Like, I don't know what you're on today, man.
What's your name?
Caroline.
Carolyn. Well, Carolyn says she rides a bike, to the bus stop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I just asked her where did she lock her bike up at? Because I need a bike.
Exactly.
So when she gets at the bus stop, I got the bike.
All right. Well, all right. The Suns are on a heater as well, Eddie. And we should talk about them because they just beat the Cavs last night. 2 in a row and 7 out of their last 10. And lo and behold, they're right there in the 6th spot again. And they got 2 crucial games coming up against the Timberwolves and then the New Orleans Pelicans on Sunday. So after watching them for the last couple games, are you back on board with the aspirations that people have and the positive vibes, or do you still need to see a little bit more?
No, I mean, I'm not shocked at what's going on. Like, people they were talking about, strength of schedule. Oh, look at the Suns. The Suns have the hardest schedule left in the league, and they're going to. Look, man, it's the best thing to happen to them that they're playing good teams because they normally play well against good teams. Like, good teams make you concentrate. Like, I'm all for doing it the hard way because if you do it, it takes you into the playoffs on a better note. Like, in trying to back your way in. And we've seen this team this year where they play teams that we think they should beat, and they don't. So, for me, I like the schedule, and they've done well so far. And so they got some tough ones left, right? As you know, they got Minnesota coming up. They got the Pelicans. They might not have Zion on Sunday, which scares me because now then that's a game you think they should win.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got the Clippers twice. In Sacramento and Minnesota. So all difficult games, all teams that are trying to find their niche and find their way into the playoffs and not the play-in. And so that's, I think, why we're playing well now. And so if Devin and KD are playing like they are, this team is just hard to beat, man. And we've said it time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
And they're on the heater right now. Let's hope that heater continues.
You know, one of the things that I keep bringing up, and my feeling is obviously Frank Vogel talked about Bradley Beal taking on more of the point guard duties. And it feels like right now Bradley's trying to find that nice balance between being a facilitator and a playmaker versus, getting his whenever the opportunity calls. And I think from time to time he is guilty of overpassing. I thought, especially last night, I thought there was a couple of opportunities where he got into the lane, did his typical step back, had the shot, and then deferred to somebody else in the corner, not named KD or Book. And I think in those opportunities, that's what I would like to see. I would like to see Bradley Beal be a little bit more aggressive, because that's what Bradley Beal is. He's an aggressive player. He can attack the rim better than just about anybody else on that team, and he can facilitate for sure. But I don't want him to find that passiveness because he's trying to feed everybody else. I still want him to have some level of aggressiveness in his own game while also trying to facilitate to everybody else. Do you see the same thing or no?
Yeah, but I think he's caught in between at times. So I think he wants to, he's grabbed on to something new. Like Brad Beal, the guy that led the NBA in scoring multiple times. Like, we all know he can score. And so I think now he's just embracing the idea of doing something different and enjoying that aspect of it. And so at times he's going to catch himself in the middle and maybe he should shoot and he decides to pass, right? Or maybe he should pass and he decides to shoot. So it's still work in progress, but you have to like the fact that Bradley Beal is taking over, because I think it's unleashed Devin off the ball. It's unleashed KD off the ball. And that's what we need. We don't need them trying to facilitate. We need them to be the guys that take care of it at the end. When they get the ball in their sweet zones, go for it. And I think that's what we're seeing right now.
I do like the way they're playing. I thought defensively they've been a lot more focused. They played with effort and purpose more than anything else. And I think that's what we've always wanted from this team. It just feels like sometimes during the season they would just kind of go through the motions, and it just didn't seem like they were connected on defense, and they would have mental lapses. In the last couple games, it feels like they're very more focused, very much more focused on what they're doing defensively, because they do have to ramp that side of the thing up, the side of the ball up before they get to the playoffs. Because if they don't, they're going to find themselves at home really quick. And so I am pleasantly surprised at how quickly they've been able to modify and adjust on that side of the ball as we come down the stretch.
However they finish, it's going to be a tough situation for them regardless. Whether they're in the play-in, having to play, New Orleans, Dallas, or Sacramento, or the Lakers, or whoever for the seventh spot, or they get into the playoffs free and clear, and they got to match up in the first round against either Oklahoma City, Minnesota, or Denver in the 6th spot. And if they move up to 5, which is they're capable of doing, then they have to face the Clippers. So anybody they play is going to be difficult. So you'd rather be in the playoffs immediately and don't have to deal with a play-in. But the play-in worked well for the Lakers last year. They made the Western Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. It worked well for Miami last year. They made the finals. So I just think they want to be playing well. Now, look, the ball's in their court. If they win out, they'll keep the 6th spot.
Hell, they
maybe
might find
move up to the 5th spot.
There's a scenario because of the Clippers and having 2 games against the Clippers, they can get to the 4.
They can get
which
to 4.
Is unbelievable.
Which would be unreal. the crazy part about it, and what the Suns have 6 more games left, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've won, 40 what?
Oh.
44?
Sure.
So
I have it off the top of my head.
45. So can you imagine, after all this team has gone through, they can win 51 wins? Let's do the math backwards.
That would be typical.
Let's do the math backwards, though, right? 51 wins. 3 losses against San Antonio. That's 54. 3 losses against Houston. 57. The loss at Indiana that they had, 58. The loss to Portland, 59.
Yeah. Got to take care of business.
That's the difference, man, in taking care of your business and not.
Yeah.
So you talking about a team that could be sitting right now with close to the best record in the league. And on the other end now they're fighting. to have a solid spot in the playoffs. So that's why the 82-game marathon is great, because you got to pay attention early and you got to beat the weak teams. And the Suns have done a poor job this year of beating the teams they're supposed to beat.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Buddha the Schizo says, so there's a scenario where they can clinch a playoff berth today, right? I mean, essentially, because of mathematics, they've basically already clinched a playoff spot. Whether that's a play-in or a playoff is still to be determined, but it's a high unlikelihood. If the Warriors lose today, then yes, I think for sure by the book and by numbers they have clinched. But because of everybody that has to play each other, mathematically there's no way that they're going to miss the playoffs. So I think you're set there, because the Rockets are the only ones that can even catch the Warriors. They got to play tonight. The Warriors beat the Rockets. The Rockets are out. Everybody clinches. Everybody's good. So you don't have to worry about that. There was also another question earlier in the chat that asked about just the flow of possessions. And the question was, do you believe the Suns' flow is not generating enough possessions? That's by Charles Coulter. What do you think? I don't think so.
What's up with this possession stuff?
I don't know. People really.
That's so overrated, man.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because I just believe in good shots.
Okay.
I believe in being efficient with good shots. I'm not turned on by the fact you push the ball up and some dude shoot a freaking 25-foot brick. What? Okay. So I would rather get solid possessions. I'm not into this analytical, robotic mindset. Well, the more shots you get up, the better chance you got, and pace of play. The pace of play in today's game, I want to shock you, a lot of you people, it's not faster than what it was in the 80s. You might think it is. What's pace of play? Getting up shots or running for high percentage shots? I like that better. We ran 94 feet. We ran for layups. This generation runs for threes. So for me, I like the fact that you have a possession. I want you to have the best possible look that you can get and not just chucking up quick shots. That part of me drives me nuts because I don't believe in it.
Okay. All right. I mean, by the numbers, possessions are up compared to the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s for sure. Shots are up, but that's because it's a lot of chucking and ducking.
Chucking quick shots.
Yeah.
That's it.
I get it. I mean, overall, obviously, the Suns, they're in a much better position than I think we all felt like they were going to be just a few days ago. I mean, they lose to the Spurs, and you're feeling pretty down about their chances, not very optimistic. I still remain pessimistic or not a believer totally in terms of what they can possibly do in the playoffs, because I want to see them put a complete game together. More importantly, I want to see all three of the big three play at a high level at the same time. And I feel like we've missed a part or two here or there with those three on the court. I don't feel like maybe outside of a handful of occasions, all three of them have been clicking and rolling at the same time. So that's the one thing that I think can separate them from everybody else. I don't think anybody wants to see the Suns in the playoffs, without a doubt. I think they're a scary team for anybody to have to face because of the unknown and the inconsistency. They could come out, they could come out and sweep a team if they're playing at a high level. They could also get swept if they're not playing at a high level. So that is the Jekyll and Hyde of this Suns team right now. You don't have to be a Jekyll and Hyde. You can get some OGs to chill out if you're feeling a little, angst, a little anxiety, or a little flustered because traffic was just getting on your nerves today with our good friends at OGs. Check them out. Get yourself the edible that is the best in the game, scratch-made gummy made from the greatest city in Tucson, and you can get yourself by going to ogsbrands.com, find your closest dispensary, and find yourself, like I said, the best edible in the game. You got to be 21 and over to enjoy, and also our friends at Four Peaks are doing some amazing things. As always, they've got the Bad Birdie Ale. Check it out. Kilt Lifter, Peach Ale. You a beer drinker at all?
I'm not a beer drinker. I used to be. But, I'm trying to get my body like I need to. So beer puts weight on me.
Okay.
So I don't anymore. I don't knock people that drink it. Go right ahead, chug along. It doesn't bother me. It's a few things bother me, but not
Have you
the beer.
ever tasted a Four Peaks? Even just a sip?
I might have. I mean, beer, like, I had to acquire the taste to drink beer at one point in my life, and I enjoyed drinking it. But for me now, it's just, it sits on me. And
Okay.
I'm more into
All
my, I got to wear my Italian suits.
Okay.
So I'm not, I can't be doing that,
All
And
right.
so I have issues though, but not with the beer. The beer is great.
Okay.
Thank you for
All
sponsoring us, Four Peaks. You
right.
do a great job. Uh,
Get yourself some Four Peaks by going to the A Street Pub or your closest grocery store.
that's right.
At Four Peaks Pub or Four Peaks Brew on social media. And remember, you must be 21 or over to enjoy that as well.
Yeah.
Let's look at this. Go
I
ahead.
do have a problem though.
What's going on?
You got all these bobbleheads out there. Where's mine?
What did I say, Eric? What did I say before we even started?
Before the show, Saul's like, we need to find an EJ bobblehead.
Thank you.
But these are just bobbleheads I believe Espo had. So I don't know if we have an EJ
You
one.
blame Espo.
Is this Espo show?
Yeah. No.
Do you have a bobblehead of yourself we could borrow?
Do you have a bobblehead?
Is
of
this
yourself?
Espo's show?
It's your show.
Okay, so why he gets to choose? I should have been like an email, not an email, text sent to me so I could okay it. Like, you got Amari, you got Charles.
Do you want me to
got
take the
Sean,
bobbleheads down?
You got Connie Hawkins. You don't
You
have
need
EJ.
set approval
like,
now?
I kind of leaned up to see
Man.
maybe EJ in the middle, and I see an invisible EJ.
I mean, I don't know if that might be the most diva thing I've ever heard. I need set approval before we do the show. Is that what you're asking for right now?
Well, I mean,
Maybe if you showed up a little earlier, Eddie, before we started the show, you could have set approval.
Well, that's the reason why it's my show. I can show up whenever I want.
EJ, I'll tell you what. If you get me a bobblehead of yourself, or if we find one, I'll use it in the Sun's show too. It'll be all over.
Most producers go and do stuff like that. You'll go out and take care of that for me.
Where am I going to find an Eddie Johnson bobblehead? I can barely find an Eddie Johnson poster. That's not a knock on you. I tried to find one.
Really?
Brother, I'm not making it up. I actually tried to find the original Eddie Johnson poster that I bought for the very first time. It was my first ever poster, and I could not find it at all anywhere. I think maybe it was just a Suns only developed poster that I could get at the Coliseum. Could not find it. There's a couple, but there's not a lot. So anyway, as he goes to Google or Bing or whatever the hell search engine he's trying to use, let's talk about the Suns' playoff chances. The Suns' playoff chances as we have the standings right here. And as you see, Minnesota, Denver, Oklahoma City are the top three. Oklahoma City is one game behind Denver and Minnesota. They are battling for that final or that top spot in the West. And then you got the Clippers, Dallas, and Phoenix rounding out the 4, 5, 6 spots. Dallas is on a heater as well. And we all know that, I know we're sitting here talking about if you get to the 5 spot, you might have to face the Clippers. There's a very real possibility that the Clippers could end up falling to the 6, and we might see Dallas as the 4 and 5. That's the way it's kind of feels like it's going right now.
You think so?
Man,
I mean,
feels like
they're 2.5 games ahead of us.
I know, but
I know we play them twice.
You're going to play them twice, and if you then you would own
Kawhi is dealing with his little issue,
Yeah.
and that's not good for them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You never know. But the 6th spot is where I would like to see them. I think Minnesota's going to fall back, and Oklahoma City's ultimately going to get into that top 2. I think we match up very well with Minnesota, and I think that's going to prove out tomorrow. But that's just me.
I think we match up well with everybody if we come to play. I don't really fear any of these teams. I think Suns fans might fear Dallas because of Luka and obviously the Game 7 of a couple of years ago. I just tell fans, shake that off. Come on, head to head, I think the Suns have beaten the Mavericks more than the Mavericks have beaten them, right, over the last couple of years. Am I not mistaken? So, just one of them weird games, man, where just nothing went well. But I wouldn't hold that like the ghost of the Mavericks or something. So I think they match up with everybody. I know for a fact Denver doesn't want to play the Suns.
No, without a doubt. And I even said that today on the All-NBA show, which you should check it out with Adam Mares and Tim Legler. I don't know why I was going to say Flex. Tim Legler. Denver does not want to see the Suns.
No.
At all. I don't think anybody wants to see the Suns, Eddie. I really don't.
Well, I don't think they want to see the Suns. They don't want to see the Lakers either.
Yes.
Right? The way the Lakers are playing right now, and I'm not shocked. Come on, LeBron's 39 years old. Now he's turning it up. At the end of the season, that's what he does. Just like what Devin is doing right now. Devin's turning it up, right? You see it. in his eyes. The veteran players in the league, they know how to do that, right? And so, yeah, I just think the West, man, is going to be a tremendous playoff run. I think we'll see a few series go 6 and 7. And that's going to be great for TV. You know, the first round lasts 3 weeks. So, teams be getting 2-3 days off in between games. So that's going to be good for the older teams.
Yeah. AS, I don't know what you're talking about. We don't have another channel, so I don't know what you're talking about. So if you got blocked somewhere else on some other YouTube channel, I'm sorry, but that's not us. Also, let's go back up. There was a Angle V said, the Thunder are still young, though. 0 playoff experience. We win or 6 or 7, in my opinion. Now, this is what I want to say about playoff experience. In 2021, Devin Booker didn't have playoff experience, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, DeAndre Ayton, and they still performed at a high level in the playoffs, got all the way to the finals. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes we overvalue playoff experience when it comes to younger teams. OKC is a young team, but they can play at a high level. They've proven that all season long. I know the regular season is different than the playoffs, but it's still, I think sometimes we put a little too much emphasis on the experience portion of this. You think it's?
Yeah, I disagree with you. I think oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me why.
Because I went through it. Like, it's just a different animal because it is now becoming close to final. And I think that's the possessions in a playoff game. Every possession is important. Like, you're thinking about it. You're not wanting to turn it over. You're wanting to make the shot. So if you've never been there before, it's a different animal. And look, they're going to have expectations on them too, Saul. Like, they had a great regular season record. So when they go into the playoffs, not only their fans going to have high expectations, but everybody's going to be looking at them like, okay, let's see what they do. I, for one, think that they're big for the moment. I think Jalen Williams and Shea, they're big for the moment. I think Chet's big for the moment as well. So I don't foresee them going south. I think you're going to have to beat them. But the way they looked against the Suns the other day, I don't know if we want to play them right now.
I don't want to play OKC. I know a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, we would be OKC. I mean, everything I've seen so far right now this season, it just feels like they're younger and quicker and a little bit more effective against us than just about any other team. And I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of that at all. All right. So if you've never seen this show, you probably are maybe going to be turned off or you're going to like what we're about to talk about. But we don't just talk about Suns only. We talk about other things too. And one of the teams I want to talk about real quick.
Selfish.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they want to talk. They wanted to get your opinion on the Suns. It's a big deal.
Well, just tune in to the broadcast. K-Ray lets me talk every 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. Well, hey. T Bounty Bay says, Silly Saul, it was a little much to say the Suns might beat the Wolves by 20 tomorrow. It's underestimating a winning team. We beat them by 30 earlier in the year. So why can't I say they're going to beat them by 20? I'm being optimistic. I'm trying to turn a new leaf there, Eric.
Change your ways.
I'm trying to change my ways.
Very brave of you.
I'm trying to look at the glass is half full instead of half empty. So, are you? One last question before we move on. The Bucks. Are you still a believer in the Bucks, despite the fact that they've lost to the Grizzlies and I think the Hornets in the last? Oh no, Wizards. It was the Wizards and the Grizzlies in the last 2 games. I don't know what is going on with them.
Disappointed, without a doubt, at their performance. They're an old team. All their key players are north of 30. Some of them north of 35. And I think that's part of their issue. The marathon has taken a toll on them, and they just can't wait to get to the playoffs where they'll get 2 days off in between games and all of that. And I think that's when they'll be better. But, yeah, right now it's kind of embarrassing to see how they play and how they're allowing teams to dominate them. Like last night, Memphis, dominated them in the paint. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to lose to them. That's fine. Anybody can lose to them. But it's how they beat them. Mm-hmm. They dominated them in the paint. And Milwaukee's a big team. They were able to let them do that. So that is some concern, without a doubt. Getting a new coach. Normally when you get a new coach, the euphoria of getting that new coach carries over to the floor.
It did not right off the bat.
And teams play at a higher level. We haven't seen that. So those 2 things do concern me. But I'm not writing them off totally right now because I think with Dame and Giannis, they're going to win their share of playoff games.
they're lucky they're in the Eastern Conference because they don't really have to battle a lot of teams to stay up at the top of that conference and secure home court advantage. I mean, they've done that already, so they're good there. I don't know if Giannis has enough to carry that team to where it needs to go, or Dame. Again, Dame's gotten far, I think, Western Conference Finals as far as he's ever gotten. He wants to get to the finals, but Boston is such a tough team. I just don't see anybody in the East getting past Boston at all. I just think that this is their year to get to the finals, and whoever they match up with is going to depend whether or not I think they're going to be the favorite. But I think overall they are the betting favorite to win a championship, according to BetMGM.
Yeah, and look, the only thing I'm going to say about Boston, and you're right, I think they are the favorite to get out of the East. But in my mind, they're also very vulnerable to getting beat because of the way that they play. They rely on the three ball a lot. They take a ton of threes. And I just wonder if they start to struggle from three, will they keep shooting it? Because they don't have a post-up guy. And so they don't have many options past the pace that they play. So I would be curious if they got in trouble in the playoff series and how they would play.
All right. Well, moving on to other things, we got a couple little things that I want to cover because I want to really get your opinion on this. All right, Angel Reese. She has been a lightning bolt of focus for a lot of people in the basketball world. And first of all, I want to say women's basketball has been phenomenal this year. I don't know if you haven't watched a game, you should. 12.3 million people watched Iowa versus LSU, Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese the other night, which is to be commended. That was more than the NBA Finals. That was more than the World Series. That was more than the college football playoff. I mean, the ladies did their thing. Angel Reese, though, caught a lot of flack, especially after last year because of the whole pointing to the ring thing and then the you can't see me thing, right? And I wanted to go through a couple things and just kind of prove to you how stupid this is, all right? Let's see the first image there, Eric. That's Dame. What's he doing? Yeah, the Dame time, the typical thing, right? What about the next one? Oh, you got to rock the baby, right? And we've seen Westbrook do this. Hell, we've seen Book do this as well. All right, next one. We got Dikembe Mutombo with the finger wag, right? Like he every time he blocked a shot, he threw that finger in somebody's face. And then he got it back to him because Michael Jordan, when he dunked on him, did the same thing back to him. Oh, and by the way, there's this. And this is Caitlin Clark doing the same exact thing the game before Angel Reese did it to Haley Van Lith. And then Angel Reese does it, and all of a sudden it's become an issue. And, and because she's not backing down of who she is and the approach that she goes with the game and her being unapologetic for being the player that she is and the confidence that she has in herself, people have tried to slander her, and I just don't understand it. I don't like it. I think there's a connotation to this in some aspects that people are trying to go with, and I just don't see the narrative doesn't fit the piece in my opinion. So she's talking trash. A million other players in the history of the game have talked a lot of trash. So I just don't think that the flack that she's been getting over the course of the last really year and a half has been warranted at all.
Well, a couple of things. Now, I'm not going to get too deep with it because I could get deep. But I'm not. Stay a little bit above G rated. First thing, they don't like her because she kicked Caitlin's butt last year. That's why they don't like her. Just put it where it is.
Oh, yeah. 1,000,000%.
And it's not everybody. It's just some of these losers out there that they live their life through the success of somebody else. And it ticked them off last year that Angel Reese got that butt last year, okay? And they won the title. And people didn't like the fact that she all of a sudden was bragging about it, okay? So boo-hoo to you, okay? Boo-hoo to you. As you noted, Caitlin, a game before that, did the same thing. She talks junk. So it's okay for her to talk junk, but Reese can't? Because that's what that sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. Exactly. I don't like it at all.
You know, we live in an era right now. I don't want to get too political, but we got people that can do something in broad daylight and say they can get away with it. All right. And then you ask somebody, did he mean anything by that? And you no, he's just kidding. Stop. I won't hear that. Like, this is sports. You can talk junk. I was just on the golf course talking smack. You don't like it? Pick up your clubs and go back home. I mean, that's just it. Like, sports is competitive, man. And like any advantage that you can get or rub it in, you can do it. She didn't rob her. She didn't assault her. All she did was just make a motion, just like she did Caitlin did a game before that. And now everybody's getting on Angel Reese. They want to get on her because she's very good at what she does. Mm-hmm. And you don't like that she can talk, that she talks it up. Well, you know, that's your problem. It's not her problem. And she's not going to change. And if I told her, I would tell her never to change. Never. Because it's competitive basketball. That's all it is. Okay? It's not little Johnny, little Timmy at the YMCA and mommy and daddy like, don't call travel. And he just ran with the damn ball 89 steps. It's travel. You're a sportsman. You got to be a good sportsman. Ain't no sportsmanship between them lines. The reason guys made it to the NBA and women to the WNBA is because they cut your throat to beat you. That's how they get there. They don't get there by being super nice between the lines. Outside the lines, okay. Hey, how are you? How things going? How's the family? Everything good? Between those lines, it's on. I'm not going to lie. Look, trust me, and you all know how much I love women. Because my mom was a single mom. I was raised by women. And you know the amount of money, I've talked about it, millions of dollars that I've helped get donated to this organization, Helping Hands for Single Moms. I'm all for the impactment of women. All for it. No problem. But I'm going to tell you something. When I'm between them lines, I jumped up one time for a jumper. And I got up so high because the guy, I'm not going to even say who the guy was, okay? Because I don't have to say it twice. But I was looking down on him. And I looked, yo, mama. Shot that jumper in on him. Everything go between them lines. Yeah. Unless it's like, until it gets to the point where, you know, it's ultra personal. And you know what that means, right? We're not talking about that. We're just talking about competitive spirit. That's why they successful. So now you want to take Angel Reese's successfulness and her edge away from her? Come on.
Yeah.
Caitlin be out there looking at people like she want to smack somebody. Like she shoot a jump.
Yeah.
Have you seen her smile on the court?
Oh, very rarely.
An assassin.
Oh, yeah. She's out for the throat.
She's an assassin. That's what makes her great.
Yep.
And I love watching her. Not just for the scoring, passing. She is ridiculously good. She's an assassin. Larry Bird was an assassin. I can't even tell you the things he said to me on the basketball court. Okay? Assassin. MJ, Michael, assassin. Like LeBron, assassin. He hits people and then he like, all right? He meant to hit him. Like, that's what you got to do. If you're not ready for it, that's maybe why you came up short. That's all I got to say.
I think it is a double standard. It's not only because of, listen, there is a racial component between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and I think that is what kind of sparked a little bit of this. And if you think I'm lying, go look at the LA Times article by Ben Bolch. Somebody had already mentioned it, where he called LSU dirty debutantes in their matchup prior to UCLA. That's a narrative painting somebody in a negative light based on what? That's definitely skin color. That's not anything else besides that. And so, like, I just didn't like the way that everything was carrying forward. And those two, if you've paid attention, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark actually do get along off the court. They respect each other's games. They push each other to another level. Caitlin Clark got better even from last year to this year. Why? Because she lost to Angel Reese, and she was like, I don't want to do that shit again. So she came back this year and has been balling out.
And she still don't have a title.
No, but
Angel Reese does.
She does. But, that's still to be determined.
My point is.
But she got the revenge that she wanted against LSU.
But did it mean a ton? Like, think about it.
It might lead to a title.
Right, because if she comes up short and they got a tough game next, she hasn't done what Angel Reese has done.
Yeah, true.
Like, you got to get the title. I remember one year the Lakers swept us in the playoffs. I think it was 88, 89. Swept us 4-0. They went on. I think they maybe won the title. I'm not sure. Come back the next year, we kicked their butt 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
And then we lost to Portland to go to the finals. I didn't feel good about that. I know fans did because we beat LA, but I didn't. Like, I feel like we came up short.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen. I just didn't like the double standard. I think people are a little too sensitive sometimes when there's trash talk on the court. And I'm not wrong, because something else came up, and I just don't understand what we're doing in society today. Dawn Staley had a quote, and I'll let you listen to it, and you guys can react and tell me if there was anything to even worry about.
I'm giving all the glory to God, though. God is really, he's really funny. He's really funny. The devastating loss that we had last year to put us back here with a totally different team. If you don't believe in God, something's wrong with you. Seriously, I'm a believer. I'm a believer because He makes things come true. When you're at your worst, He's at His best. Look at Him. Look at Him.
So there was some blowback because she said, basically, if you don't believe in God, then what was the rest of that quote, Eric? Then I don't know what to tell you, or something like that, right? And I just don't understand why people are getting so twisted about this. Like, it's a frame of speech. It's a figure of speech. It doesn't matter. Like, if you don't like what she said, you don't have to listen to it. I don't think she was attacking anybody that doesn't believe in God. I'm just saying, like, we've got to a point sometimes in society where we're trying to find the negative in every single little thing that people say. And I think we've completely disregarded intent. She is in a moment where she wants to thank God for what is happening around her. You don't have to believe that that's what happened, but that's what she feels. It's all good. I'm cool with that. She even had to clarify her remarks by saying this.
I said, if you don't know there's a God, then something's wrong with you. If I said, if you don't watch women's basketball, something seriously wrong with you, would you take it as threatening, as somebody took the other one? I mean, it's a figure of speech. If you can't comprehend that, then tune me out. Like, tune me out, because I'm not here to offend anybody. I'm not here.
And just, again, like, I think we've gotten to a point sometimes where we're just being overly sensitive about some of these things. And when I heard that the first time, I didn't even blink an eye. I just kind of moved along. But everybody else is just kind of, or not everybody else, but people are trying to pick and choose. And again, I think when you're looking at, these are two black women that we've been talking about, in Angel Reese and Dawn Staley, who have been a lightning bolt for controversy, in quotes. And I will put that in quotes because I don't feel like either one of these things should have been a controversy. it's tough to get by and just be like, oh, well, it's not a big deal. And they have points and this is how everybody should feel because what they did was wrong. Because I don't agree. That's just my 2 cents.
No. And listen, I will tell people till I'm blue in the face. First of all, it got hot. All those people that complain, it just got hot where they were. That's all. It got hot. That's all. Temperature went up. Because why would you even comment on it? Why would that even bother you to that point? Unless it just got hot in the room. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at it. But I will tell people, like, I know God has watched over me. I know it. Because there's no way I could have gotten out of some of the situations that I was in if it wasn't for the grace of God. I know that. That's my belief. I could care what somebody else thinks about my belief. Who cares? I don't think she had to come back on and apologize for that. That's what she believes. Like, so how dare somebody say, oh, that's not the right time to say it? That's the perfect time to say it, if that's what she believes. Like, I just know. I mean, seriously, I know that to me, that it's instances in my life where, and I have about 4 or 5, where I know that God was watching over me to tell me to react a certain way to something that was getting ready to happen. You just can't always think it's by coincidence. Like, to me, I don't believe that. Just one point, man. I was walking past an alley one time. I was leaving a summer league with my girlfriend then, and she had some heels on. And we were walking past an alley in the inner city of Chicago. We had just left a summer league game with 1,000 people were there watching, but it was like a dark street. We were walking past. And so, I'm tired, just played the game. Your mind's not thinking right. And I walked past, and out the corner of my eye, I saw 3 guys walking down the alley. And they were just walking. And I walked about 4 more steps. And you don't have to believe this. I don't care if you believe it or not. I just know it happened for me. I felt something that came over me that said, go back and look down the alley again. I'm serious. I will say this till I'm blue in the face. I walked back, and those same 3 dudes was in a full sprint, and I saw guns in their hand. I looked at her. I said, you need to kick them shoes off because we got to sprint back across the street. This is a true story. Got across the street. They weren't going to come across the street because everybody was still there. And I heard the guy say, you just saved your life. Like, to me, that was God telling me to back my butt up and look down that alley. Because if it didn't, I don't know if they would have caught me if it was just me and they turned that corner and I saw him.
They caught him.
But I was with someone, so I wasn't going to leave.
Yeah.
And so don't tell, like, if Dawn Staley believes that, that's her. Like, you live your life, you live your ideals, but you don't get mad at her because she says somebody's guiding her. That's a higher power. And you personally don't feel like that's the case. That's on you, just like it's on her.
Yeah.
So I don't even think she needed to come back and even apologize for that.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Again, it's a figure of speech. We've all said it, before, if you don't do this, then something's wrong with you. I just did not think it was to that level. And appreciate you sharing that story because that is just, man, like.
And I want everybody that's watching this podcast, I want you really to close your eyes and go back in a time in your life where if you didn't decide to do something based on what could have happened if you didn't, what tough position would you have been in? Like, we ain't smart enough to be able to compute every damn thing.
Yeah.
So that's just how I look at it. And So
at the end of the day, she's not trying to force her religion on anybody else. You can believe what you want to believe. Not everybody's is a believer, and that's fine. Like I'm not a religious guy. I'm just not. You know what I mean? And you believe in God, and it's all good. Like we can all coexist. It doesn't mean that anybody's right or wrong. It really doesn't, because we don't know. Nobody knows. So again, the figure of speech thing just kind of went a little bit overboard, and I just didn't understand that. And
look, when you turn the channel, like, how many of you all get up when you turn the channel on Sunday and you hit a channel and the guy's preaching? Do you stay there? Or do you keep turning the channel?
It's up to you.
Turn the damn channel if you didn't like what she said. Shit. You do it all the other times. They do it all the other times.
Yeah.
You walk past the church, you see people going in the church. Do you go in or do you keep walking? You kept walking. You kept driving. You have a choice. So you had a choice to turn it off. It's not your game. That's more her game than it is your game, because she's actually in it. And she's trying to raise kids to play the game, and she's trying to make adults out of them and mature them. So she's putting more into it. You, the fan that's watching, if you don't like what she's saying, turn the volume down.
Yeah.
Like,
no pun intended, but preach. There you go. Hey, to the guy earlier in the chat, just a little FYI, who said 53 million people watched NC State versus Duke. I'm sorry to tell you, but you were crazy wrong. It was actually 15.1, buddy. That's not even close to the same realm of viewership.
They watched Duke get their butt kicked.
They did watch Duke get their butt kicked, and now did they have?
That's
more
why they watched it.
Did they have more viewers
like
than
Duke.
Did they have more viewers than LSU Iowa? Sure, but that doesn't disprove my comments about 12.3 million watching the highest viewed women's basketball game of all time, and it did outpace those other events. Sorry, it's not a narrative, because I don't care. I go by the numbers. I go by the data. That's what it is. And so here we go. Now we're going to leave you on a nice positive note. We're going to play a little game with Eddie called Dis or Dat. Here we go. Eddie, I'm going to give you 7 little different scenarios. You got to pick or choose which one you're going to, and you have to pick one. You can't be unbiased and just be like, sit in the middle. You got to give me one or the other. All right. First one up. Or not. All right. Biggie or Tupac? Oh, yeah. Come on now. I know you're a Chicago guy, so you're in the Midwest. I don't know. Are you going to go east or are you going to go west?
I got to go Tupac.
Ooh.
Even though I love Biggie, I got to go Tupac.
Okay. All right. Next one up. Oh, it's Biggie all day for me. I thought you knew.
Really, they was meeting you at the bar around 2?
But the people need to know, Saul. The people need to know.
You at the bar around 2?
Yep, with my crew. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. T-bone steak,
cheese, eggs, and Welch's great, baby. All right, all right. Michael Jackson or Prince?
Prince.
Yeah.
And here's why I'm picking Prince.
Because you met him.
No, not just that. I'm picking Prince because, now, understand something. Michael is the best entertainer. Like, nobody could beat him. But Prince was not only just an entertainer, he was a great songwriter. Mm-hmm. He's a great musician. Like, he could do a concert all by himself. Like, so that's why I would pick Prince in that regard. But, man, that is apples and oranges.
Yeah. I would tend to agree. I think Prince is the better overall musician. Michael was the better performer. For me, it's Mike. And I have a different reason. My mom is 95% deaf, so she's considered hard of hearing, but she can't hear. She can only hear high-pitched notes. And when Michael Jackson sings, that high-pitched note that he sings at hits her eardrums to the point where she can actually pick up what he's saying.
Oh, yeah. Well, Prince did.
So to me, growing up, MJ was everything in my household because my mom could sing along to the songs as best she could.
Okay.
So
can I ask you a question?
Michael Jackson.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
But when you were young and you was trying to be romantic, who was you listening to? Was you listening to Michael or you was listening to International Lover?
This is who I was listening to, man. Listen, man, this is mid-90s for me when I was in the romantic game. It was D'Angelo for me.
No. Between Prince and Michael.
I didn't even listen to Prince until I got into my 20s.
International Lover.
I'm sorry, man. Sorry to disappoint you.
Are you kidding me?
Sorry.
Come on,
Next
man.
one. Cotton Fitzsimmons
Come on,
or
man.
Jerry
It's
Colangelo?
I love Jerry Cotton. Man, that dude, if it wasn't for him, I had some of the greatest coaches ever in basketball. They took a guy that wasn't highly athletic, Lou Henson first, and I'll go all the way back to high school. Frank Lolino, who was not a high school a basketball coach per se, but I had Frank Lolino and Roy Condotti, who were like two Italians that raised Eddie on the basketball court. Frank's not here anymore. Roy is still here, so I'm going to send him a text. I said your name, Roy. I know I haven't talked to you in a while. What's up, Pops? Then Lou Henson took over. I had him. I had Tony Yates. Those two at the University of Illinois were huge for me. Other guys, too. They watched it. Bob Hall, Dick Nagy, all these guys that really groomed Eddie. And then when I got to the league, Cotton had me first, man. And I just don't know if I'd have had any other coach if I would have become the player that I was. All those guys, to a man, they coached me the right way. I was normally the whipping boy. I was. They got on me, I took it, and I worked on my game. And Cotton took it to the highest level, man. So, yeah, both of them had an impact on me without a doubt. I mean, Jerry was a GM. But Cotton drafted me in Kansas City, and he was the best coach I ever had.
All right. There we go. All right. These are going to get a little harder. Dan Marley or Tom Chambers?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
well, no, it's not hard. I'm going to take Tom.
Okay. You hesitated, though.
No, yes, I should. Here's why. I'm going to take Tom because I know his ability is what really was the focal point of us winning 50-plus games in the years that we were here. But Dan guarded his man and half of my man. So he protected me.
How about outside of basketball? How about like in your post-careers? Golfing or personal life?
I mean, I don't see Dan much anymore. He just plays golf, and he really don't see him.
Okay.
And Tom, obviously, I see him all the time. But, that's a tough one there. But I would take Tom, and I think Dan would agree. Like, if it wasn't for Tom, I don't think we would have won at the level that we did.
Okay.
So,
all right.
There you go.
Next one. All right. You want to take a yacht at the Amalfi Coast for a week? Or do you want to travel around the world first class for a month? In
On a plane?
One of those like beautiful planes where you can lay out and stretch it. Yeah, on a plane.
I'm gonna do the yacht. And how long is the yacht?
1 week.
And first class, how long?
A month.
I'm gonna still go with the yacht because one, I'm not that in love with flying at this old age. So I don't want to fly the same plane every time. I like to play Russian roulette.
No.
I do. Seriously, I do.
With all the current plane stuff, man, I don't know about that.
I like to play Russian roulette. That's just me. It's the same one all the time. But the cruise, I've been on about 25 cruises in my life.
Okay.
I love the cruise.
I love cruises.
I love cruises.
I'm going on my second cruise ever here in about 2 months.
That's your second?
Second ever. Yeah.
Man, you got a ways to catch up to
the
EJ.
Second largest ship in the world. The Wonder of the Seas. I'm kind of
I've been on that.
Yeah? You like it?
Yeah.
There we go. Let's go.
I don't know if that's the one that's got the go-kart on it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because the one I just went on had the go-kart, and the go-kart, the track, was off the edge of the ship.
Nope.
So you going through it and back into the ship. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
EJ was on that thing. EJ was like trying to hit people. Can't swim.
Eli said EJ wants to fly the Spirit experience. Oh, man. All right. Last one, I do believe. Second to last one. K-Ray or Tom Leander?
Oh, that's cold. That's cold. You know what? I'm going to dress this one up. I'm going to take Leander.
Oh.
You know why?
Longevity?
No. My body's better than his. I look better in my suits.
Oh, boy.
K-Ray, man. K-Ray rip.
Yeah.
Like
he's kind of jacked.
Yeah, he kind of take a little attention from me, Jay. I don't like that. Like Tom is like Tom is probably got the edge in handsomeness, right? But his body ain't built like K-Ray. Like K-Ray, man, he got one of them bodies, man. Like you ever remember back in the day when you were single, you'd walk behind somebody, some girl or something, and you'd be like, damn, she got a nice body. But then you get up there, you see her face. Like, ugh.
Oh no, K-Ray taking shots right now. Oh my goodness. All right. Ooh.
No, I'm not talking about K-Ray's face.
That's what you just said.
I'm just talking about compared to Leander. Like Leander's like, he's like a top model, man. Leander hasn't even aged, man. Leander look like he's 28 years old still, man.
All right.
K-Ray good looking guy, but he ain't Leander.
All right.
But Leander don't have K-Ray's body.
Okay. All right.
So there you go.
All right. Before we get to the next one, this is all about style, okay? And you can't mess around with this, EJ. This is all about style. This is all about swag. It's all about the look. Who we got? Book? Oh, man. But you didn't have the shots, man.
I told you I changed the picture on some of them. You said they were okay.
See, that ruined
So
the whole
go back.
thing.
Well, go back. What you got to do? What did he mess up? What did he mess up?
I had fashion pictures of you too. I had a picture of you in a suit, and I had a picture of Devin Booker in like a styled outfit. And I was trying to compare the two, but our producer ruined it.
Hey, listen, I came to you before the show.
I didn't see the final
and I said,
product,
hey, I changed some of the pictures. I hope that's okay.
I never
you
seen
said that
Devin
word.
in a suit, so I ain't worried.
He wasn't in a suit, but style and swag.
Yeah, but please let me see this.
He's trying to whip it up. So.
Y'all know I don't bite my tongue.
We could just throw the pictures up. It doesn't even matter, Eric. So, but yeah, I thought, I was trying to show you the swag here. And Eric's going to pull this up real quick for us so you can see what I'm talking about. There's a Devin with his, a little style, probably like a little GQ shoot.
Yeah, he got that. Yeah, he got that doggone
little
car that costs about $100,000.
Yeah. Listen, one thing about Devin is he's got that swag, but he can put a fit together, even with colors that you don't think should go together. He does a pretty good job of pulling it all off. Now, can you do that? Listen. First of all, you got the 2003 draft look going on right here with the baggy suit and stuff. It's not a tight Italian suit on that one.
Well, that's back in. I think they retired my number back in mid 2000s, which was about 6 years too late. I started telling them, give me. I don't even put it up there. But anyway, who got the most swag? You trying to say now, between me and DB?
Yeah.
Well, put us back up there. Let me show y'all. Show the jump. No, the jumpers. The jumpers.
Oh, the jumpers. Okay, you want the jumpers.
See, you didn't get a picture with me shooting the jumpers. But, look at that body, though. You don't see no body fat on me.
Oh, my goodness. We're not body shaming Book.
You want to bet? I'm not body shaming him. I'm just saying, I had 3% body fat, man.
All right.
Book's my boy, man. He rolling right now too.
Yeah.
He rolling.
Yeah.
What I was thinking I was talking to somebody today, and I said, people say, well, who are your favorite players to watch play, right? And you'll always gravitate to who? People that played like you, right? So that was me. Well, I knew I couldn't play like George Gervin, so I can't gravitate toward him. The reason I picked number 8 was Marcus Johnson wore it in Milwaukee, and I felt like I didn't have his hop, but I felt like we played similar games, right? I couldn't say Dr. J, please, I can't jump like that and rock the baby on Michael Cooper, right? I can't jump off 2 feet like Dominique. So I'm going to gravitate toward guys that played the game the way I played. And I am telling you, I love KD before he came to the Suns.
Mm-hmm.
When he was at OKC, when he was in Seattle the first year, I just love the way he plays. Like, for me, calling games, I just love the way he plays. I really love the way Devin plays. Devin plays, I don't know if you ever watched Dale Curry play.
Yeah.
He's like a super echelon, like meteoroid of Dale Curry.
Okay.
Dale Curry, when he would run, you thought he was float. Like his gait was just unreal, and it just looked like he was just walking on water. That's Devin. When you look at him play, man, it looked like he just. And I mean, it's just then all of a sudden, boom, he'll go.
Yeah.
Not many players play like that, man. And I love watching him play. So
he's smooth. He is smooth. You know what I mean? Like, again, like, he's one of the greatest shooting guards. Listen, he's one of the better shooting guards in the history of the game, without a doubt. But he's also one of the best shooting guards right now, currently in the game, if not the best.
He's as close. Like, Kobe was as close to Michael as anybody ever could be close to Michael. And Kobe played the part. Like, started wearing shorts under his uniform and the way he stick his tongue out, the fall away. I mean, Kobe he copied everything. Devin didn't do that, but he's copied nuances of both of them. The fall away. I mean, if you put Kobe's and Devin's together, Devin's is even better because Devin is not even, he's just not even moving. His fall away is unreal. But man, just the way that dude plays and how he moves around the court, it baffles me how smooth he is.
All right. There we go. Little Devin Booker love to end the show. Hey, that's the best way to end the show. Look at that. That's another episode of Outside Shots. We appreciate you joining us today. We'll be back next week, hopefully the earlier time, like usual. Follow my guy, JumpShot8 at JumpShot8 on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me at Saul_Bookman. You can follow the show at PHNX_Suns. Until next time, peace.